Around the world, people have unknowingly walked past some of the rarest gemstones ever discovered. Stones so valuable that collectors and museums fight to own them. Gems like the legendary pynite, once considered the rarest mineral on Earth, the color-changing miracle of Alexandrite, and the royal treasure known as Jadeite that has sold for millions at auctions. But here's the shocking part. Many people don't recognize these treasures when they see them. In today's video, we're revealing the top 3 super rare gemstones that could turn an ordinary discovery into a life-changing fortune. Before you throw away that random rock, watch this video carefully, because your next discovery might be worth a fortune. Maybe from a dusty riverbank, an old jewelry box, or a forgotten drawer in your home. And discovering that the small, dull crystal in your hand could be worth hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. It sounds unbelievable, right? But what if I told you that this exact scenario has happened before, and it could happen again? Hidden among the countless stones people overlook every day is one of the most mysterious and valuable gemstones on Earth, the legendary Alexandrite. A stone so rare, so mesmerizing, and so highly demanded that collectors and billionaires compete fiercely to own it. And the shocking part? Many people around the world have unknowingly passed by this gemstone without realizing its value. So today, stay with me, because by the end of this video you will understand why this rare stone can command millions of dollars, how to recognize it, and why the next piece of Alexandrite discovered could change someone's life overnight. The story of Alexandrite begins in the early 19th century in the rugged mines of the Ural Mountains in Russia. Miners were searching for emeralds when they discovered a strange crystal that looked green in daylight. But when evening arrived and the light of candles filled the room, something incredible happened. The stone suddenly appeared red. Imagine the shock of those miners. One moment they believed they had discovered a green gemstone, and the next moment it looked like a completely different stone. It was almost as if the gem had a secret personality hidden inside it. This mysterious color-changing ability quickly fascinated the gem world. The stone was named after the Russian Emperor Alexander II of Russia, and soon it became a symbol of power, rarity, and luxury. But here is where the story becomes even more dramatic. The original Russian mines that produced the finest Alexandrite began running out of high-quality stones. Within a short time, the world realized something shocking. The supply of this gemstone was extremely limited while the demand was exploding. Think about this for a moment. When a product is rare, its value rises. But when something is almost impossible to find, its price can skyrocket beyond imagination. Today, fine Alexandrite with a strong color change can sell for tens of thousands of dollars per carat. Exceptional stones with perfect color transformation and clarity have been sold for hundreds of thousands, even millions. Yes, a single gemstone small enough to sit on your fingertip can be worth more than a luxury mansion. Now here's where things get interesting and maybe a little exciting. Alexandrite isn't always obvious. Sometimes it appears in rough form that looks surprisingly ordinary. In daylight, it may show green or bluish-green tones, and under warm indoor lighting it shifts dramatically to purplish red. This phenomenon is known as the emerald by day, ruby by night effect, and it is the defining magic of Alexandrite. When collectors witness this transformation, many of them literally gasp. It feels almost supernatural. But let me ask you something for a second. What if someone handed you a rough stone and said it could change colors under different lighting? Would you check it carefully, or would you toss it aside thinking it was just another rock? This is exactly why some valuable gemstones remain undiscovered for years. People simply don't know what they're looking at. Around the world, Alexandrite has been found in several locations beyond Russia, including parts of Brazil, Sri Lanka, Tanzania, and Madagascar. Each region produces stones with slightly different colors and characteristics, but the most prized specimens are those with the strongest color change and excellent clarity. When a collector sees a gemstone shift from vibrant green to deep red almost instantly, that's when the bidding wars begin. And here's the part that creates urgency in the market today. High-quality Alexandrite deposits are extremely scarce. Most mines produce only small quantities, and many produce none at all for years. Meanwhile, wealthy collectors, luxury jewelry houses, and investors are constantly searching for rare stones that will increase in value. This imbalance between supply and demand is exactly why Alexandrite prices continue to climb year after year. Picture an auction room filled with gem collectors. A rare Alexandrite appears under the lights. The gemologist explains its perfect color change and natural origin. Suddenly, the bidding begins. One collector raises the price, another jumps higher, and within minutes the value of that small gemstone reaches levels that most people would associate with luxury cars or penthouses. It may sound dramatic, but in the rare gemstone world, this happens more often than you might think. And here's a surprising thought that might make you smile. Somewhere in the world right now, someone might be cleaning their house, sorting through old jewelry, or exploring a rocky hillside, and they could be holding a rough stone that contains Alexandrite without realizing it. It's almost like nature's version of a hidden treasure hunt. Except the prize isn't a chest of gold. It's a tiny gemstone capable of transforming a life. Now let's talk about recognition, because this is where curiosity becomes powerful. The most famous characteristic of Alexandrite is its dramatic color change under different light sources. Natural daylight reveals green or bluish tones, while incandescent or candlelight reveals red or purplish hues. This optical phenomenon occurs because the crystal absorbs and reflects light wavelengths differently depending on the lighting environment. In simple terms, the gemstone behaves almost like a chameleon of the mineral world. Collectors and gemologists look for three main qualities when evaluating Alexandrite. First is the strength of the color change. The more dramatic the transformation from green to red, the more valuable the stone becomes. Second is clarity. Stones with fewer internal inclusions are far more desirable. Third is size. Because large Alexandrite crystals are extremely rare, even a stone weighing a few carats can command astonishing prices. Now here's a quick reality check with a little humor. If you suddenly find a stone that changes colors, please don't rush to list it online for $10 with the title "Weird Rock Found in Backyard." Believe it or not, people have done similar things with valuable minerals before realizing their mistake. The smarter move is to have the stone examined by a professional gemologist or a reputable laboratory. And this brings us to an important truth about Alexandrite today. The world's fascination with rare gemstones is growing stronger every year. As global wealth increases and collectors search for unique investment assets, gemstones like Alexandrite are becoming symbols of exclusivity and long-term value. Unlike many material possessions that lose value over time, rare natural gemstones often move in the opposite direction. Their rarity makes them more desirable as the years pass. In fact, some investors view rare gems the way others view fine art. They are portable, beautiful, and historically significant. A high-quality Alexandrite gemstone can fit in the palm of your hand, yet represent enormous financial potential. That combination of beauty and scarcity is what makes the stone so captivating to the global market. But beyond its financial value, Alexandrite represents something deeper. It reminds us that nature still hides extraordinary wonders in unexpected places. Beneath layers of rock formed millions of years ago, Earth quietly created a gemstone capable of changing color like magic. And today, centuries after its discovery, the world is still chasing the rare crystals that remain hidden underground. So, as we reach the end of this journey, consider this possibility. Somewhere out there, in a remote mine, a rocky hillside, or even a forgotten jewelry box, the next extraordinary Alexandrite gemstone is waiting to be discovered. A stone that could capture the attention of collectors across the globe. A stone that could sell for a price few people would ever imagine. The real question is, who will find it? Because in the world of rare gemstones, fortunes don't always come from massive mines or giant corporations. Sometimes they begin with a single discovery, a curious mind, and a moment when someone looks at an ordinary stone and decides to take a closer look. And who knows? The next life-changing Alexandrite discovery might not happen in a famous mine. It might happen in the hands of someone watching this video right now. Imagine this for a moment. You're walking along a dusty path, maybe near a riverbank, a hillside, or even a construction site. Your eyes casually scan the ground, and suddenly a small green stone catches the sunlight. It doesn't look extraordinary at first, just a piece of green crystal lying among ordinary rocks. But what if that stone was worth hundreds of thousands, or even millions of dollars? What if the next step you take could literally change your financial future forever? Today, we're uncovering the fascinating story of one of the world's most powerful hidden treasures, the rare and mysterious emerald. This incredible gemstone has shaped empires, fascinated kings and queens, and continues to command astonishing prices in the global market. And here's the exciting part. Sometimes, these valuable stones are discovered in the most unexpected places. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you may look at ordinary rocks very differently. Throughout history, emeralds have been symbols of wealth, power, and mystery. Ancient civilizations believed this glowing green stone carried the energy of life itself. In fact, one of the most famous historical figures obsessed with emeralds was Cleopatra, the legendary queen of ancient Egypt. She adored emeralds so much that she claimed ownership of the emerald mines in Egypt during her reign. For her, emeralds were not just jewelry. They were symbols of eternal youth, protection, and divine beauty. Now imagine that level of fascination thousands of years ago, long before modern gem markets existed. Today, with advanced gemology and global collectors competing for the rarest stones, the value of exceptional emeralds has skyrocketed to levels that would shock even ancient royalty. But here's something many people don't realize. Not every emerald is created equal. Some emeralds may sell for a few $100s, while others can reach millions depending on their color, clarity, size, and origin. The most valuable emeralds display a deep, vivid green color with extraordinary transparency. When light passes through such a stone, it creates an almost hypnotic glow, something gem experts describe as living green fire. And when collectors see that level of beauty, the competition begins. Now let's pause for a second and think about this. Have you ever picked up a green stone and tossed it away because it looked ordinary? Be honest. Most of us have. And that's the surprising twist about emeralds. They often hide in plain sight. Sometimes they appear rough, cloudy, or embedded inside rock formations. Without proper knowledge, many people would never realize the treasure sitting in their hands. It's almost like nature enjoys playing a little game with us. Imagine nature whispering, "Let's see who actually pays attention." The world's most valuable emeralds often come from legendary mining regions. One of the most famous sources is in the breathtaking mountains of Colombia. For centuries, Colombian emerald mines have produced some of the richest green stones ever discovered. These emeralds are so prized that collectors and luxury jewelers compete fiercely to obtain them. In fact, some Colombian emeralds have sold for millions of dollars at international auctions. But Colombia is not the only source. Emeralds are also found in regions like Zambia and Brazil, where modern mining has revealed extraordinary stones hidden deep beneath the earth. Here's where things get truly exciting. Every emerald begins its life millions of years ago deep inside the planet. Under intense pressure and heat, minerals slowly crystallize into the vibrant green gem we admire today. This process can take tens of millions of years. That means when you hold an emerald in your hand, you're holding a piece of Earth's ancient history. Pretty incredible, right? It's like holding a time capsule created long before humans even existed. But now comes the moment that makes collectors, treasure hunters, and gemstone enthusiasts sit up straight. Some emeralds discovered in the last decade have reached astonishing values. Large, high-quality emerald crystals can sell for hundreds of thousands per carat. Yes, per carat. And when the stone is large and flawless, the price can climb into the millions. That's why the gemstone market has become incredibly competitive. Wealthy investors and luxury jewelers are constantly searching for the next extraordinary emerald discovery. Let me ask you something interesting. If someone placed two stones in front of you, one shiny diamond and one rough green crystal, Most people would grab the diamond without hesitation. But what if that rough green crystal was actually a rare emerald worth far more than a diamond? That's the twist that makes gemstone hunting so fascinating. The true treasure isn't always the one that sparkles the most. Now imagine the emotional moment when someone discovers such a stone. Picture a miner brushing away dust from a rock wall, noticing a flash of green hidden inside. At first, they might think it's just a mineral stain, but as the rock breaks open, a crystal appears, deep green, glowing under sunlight. Heart racing, hands shaking, they realize this could be the discovery of a lifetime. That single moment has changed the lives of many gemstone hunters across the world. And here's the powerful truth. The demand for natural emeralds has been rising dramatically. Luxury brands, collectors, and investors see rare emeralds not only as beautiful gemstones, but also as long-term assets. Unlike many investments that fluctuate unpredictably, rare gemstones often become more valuable over time because they are finite. Once the Earth's deposits are exhausted, no new emeralds can be created naturally. Nature takes millions of years to produce them. But here's a quick reality check, and don't worry, it's actually good news. The biggest mistake people make when they believe they've found an emerald is rushing into the market without proper verification. Think about it. If a stone could potentially be worth a fortune, wouldn't you want experts to confirm its authenticity first? Professional gemological testing can reveal the stone's origin, natural formation, and market value. And sometimes those results are life-changing. Now here's a fun thought. Somewhere on this planet right now, someone is walking over a stone that could be worth more than a luxury mansion. They just don't know it yet. That's the mysterious beauty of gemstones. They wait patiently for the right eyes to notice them. The global fascination with emeralds shows no signs of slowing down. Luxury auctions continue to break records as collectors compete for the most extraordinary stones ever discovered. And when a rare emerald appears on the market, the excitement spreads across the entire gemstone industry. Experts examine its color saturation, clarity patterns, and geological fingerprints to determine just how special it truly is. But the real story of emeralds isn't only about wealth. It's also about possibility. The idea that something incredibly valuable could be hidden within an ordinary rock reminds us that opportunity often hides in unexpected places. Sometimes the greatest treasures are not locked inside vaults or museums. Sometimes they're waiting quietly in the natural world, just beyond where most people bother to look at as, oh, the next time you see a green crystal embedded in stone, pause for a moment. Look closer. Ask questions. Because somewhere out there, another remarkable emerald discovery is waiting to be made. And who knows, the person who finds it might be someone just like you. And that brings us to the most important question of all. If you discovered a mysterious green stone today, would you recognize its true value? Or would it slip through your fingers like so many hidden treasures before it? The world of emeralds is filled with mystery, excitement, and extraordinary possibilities. From ancient royal treasures to modern multi-million-dollar discoveries, this remarkable gemstone continues to capture human imagination like few others on Earth. And as long as nature keeps hiding these brilliant green crystals beneath mountains, rivers, and valleys, the search for the next legendary emerald will never truly end. Because sometimes the greatest fortunes are not built in offices or stock markets. Sometimes they're discovered in the most unexpected place of all, beneath your feet. You're walking along a riverbank, kicking aside ordinary-looking rocks, when suddenly, one small green stone catches the sunlight. It looks simple, maybe even worthless. But what if that stone could be worth millions of dollars? What if the world's most elite collectors are desperately searching for it right now, and most people unknowingly throw it away? Today, we're uncovering one of the rarest and most powerful hidden gemstones on Earth, jadeite. A gemstone so valuable that a single piece has sold for tens of millions of dollars. Yes, you heard that right. Million. And here's the shocking part. Many people have seen it, held it, and had no idea what they were looking at. By the end of this video, you'll understand why jadeite is one of the most demanded stones on the planet, how to recognize it, and why the next rock you pick up could change your life forever. Now let's begin with something that might surprise you. When most people hear the word jade, they think of decorative carvings or inexpensive jewelry. But here's where the story gets fascinating. There are actually two different minerals called jade. One is common and relatively affordable. The other is jadeite, a gemstone so rare and desirable that elite collectors treat it like treasure. In fact, the highest quality jadeite, known as imperial jade, is often valued even higher than diamonds. Imagine that for a moment. Higher than diamonds. That alone should make you pause and ask yourself a serious question. How many people might already have this stone without realizing its true worth? Now here's where the excitement begins. The finest jadeite displays a glowing, almost mystical green color. Not dull, not muddy, but vibrant, deep, and alive, like sunlight passing through a tropical forest leaf. Gem experts call this color emerald green, and collectors around the world compete fiercely for it. In 2014, a necklace made from jadeite beads sold for over $27 million at auction. Yes, $27 million for green stones that once sat inside the earth like any other rock. Let that sink in for a moment. Somewhere on this planet right now, a stone that looks ordinary could be quietly waiting, worth more than luxury cars, mansions, or even entire businesses. But here's the scary part. Most jadeite is overlooked. People mistake it for common rock. Some throw it into gravel piles. Others use it as decoration in gardens. Imagine accidentally tossing away something worth millions. Sounds unbelievable, right? Yet it happens more often than you might think. Because jadeite doesn't always scream valuable. Sometimes it hides in rough, unpolished form. It can appear cloudy, waxy, or simply greenish. And unless someone knows what they're looking at, the treasure stays hidden. Now, let's take a quick pause and ask an honest question. If you discovered a stone worth millions today, would you even recognize it? Or would it end up in a drawer somewhere next to old coins and random pebbles? Don't worry, you're not alone. Even experienced collectors occasionally overlook jadeite. That's how mysterious and deceptive this gemstone can be. It's like nature's secret vault, hiding immense value inside something that appears simple. The story of jadeite becomes even more fascinating when we look at where it comes from. The most prized deposits originate from Myanmar, a region known for producing the world's finest jadeite for centuries. Ancient civilizations believed this stone held spiritual power, protection, and prosperity. Chinese emperors treasured jadeite more than gold, carving it into symbols of wealth and immortality. In fact, in certain cultures, jadeite wasn't just jewelry. It was a symbol of status, fortune, and health. Owning it meant you had power, and today, that demand has only grown stronger. Wealthy collectors across Asia, Europe, and America compete fiercely for the best jadeite pieces. Auctions become battlegrounds where prices skyrocket within minutes. Why? Because true jadeite is incredibly rare. High-quality material represents only a tiny fraction of what is mined. That rarity fuels intense global demand. And where demand meets rarity, extraordinary prices follow. Now here's a moment of truth. Somewhere out there, people are still discovering jadeite deposits. Not always in giant mines, but sometimes in rivers, mountains, and remote landscapes where nature quietly hides its treasures. Imagine hiking through a rocky area and spotting a stone with that smooth, waxy glow. At first glance, it looks ordinary, but when sunlight touches it, the color deepens, glowing from within. That's the kind of moment gem hunters dream about. Let me ask you something interesting. Have you ever picked up a rock just because it looked unusual? Maybe it had a strange color, a smooth texture, or a shine that caught your attention. Humans naturally notice beauty in stones, and sometimes that instinct leads to incredible discoveries. Throughout history, countless valuable gemstones were found by ordinary people simply paying attention to what others ignored. But here's the key point you must understand. Not every green stone is jadeite, and this is where knowledge becomes power. Genuine jadeite tends to feel dense and solid. It has a smooth texture and often displays subtle translucency when light passes through it. When polished, it can appear almost glowing. This unique appearance is one of the reasons collectors are willing to pay fortunes for it. Still, the real magic happens when jadeite is transformed into jewelry. Master artisans cut and polish the stone to reveal its internal beauty. Rings, pendants, and bracelets made from fine jadeite can command staggering prices. In luxury markets, a single jadeite bangle may sell for hundreds of thousands, or even millions, depending on color, clarity, and texture. Imagine wearing a simple bracelet that holds the value of a luxury mansion. But here's something even more exciting. The global gemstone market continues to grow every year. Investors are increasingly turning to rare stones like jadeite as alternative assets. Unlike many modern investments, gemstones are physical treasures, beautiful, portable, and limited in supply. And when the supply is limited while demand keeps rising, value often climbs dramatically. Think about that for a second. While people chase trends and technology stocks, some collectors quietly invest in gemstones that have held value for centuries. Jadeite is one of those timeless assets. It doesn't rely on trends. It relies on rarity, beauty, and human fascination with precious stones. Now let's introduce a small moment of humor, because we all need it. Imagine explaining to someone that the rock in your pocket is worth millions. They might laugh and say, "Sure, in my backyard probably has gold bars buried in it." But sometimes, reality can be stranger than jokes. History is full of people who stumbled onto extraordinary treasures by accident. And that brings us to the most important idea in this entire story. Opportunity often hides in places where others aren't looking. Jadeite is a perfect example of that principle. For centuries, it remained unknown to many parts of the world. Yet today, collectors compete fiercely to own even small pieces of high-quality material oh, what does this mean for you? It means awareness matters. Curiosity matters. The next time you see a stone with unusual color or texture, take a closer look. Research it. Compare it. Learn about gemstones. Knowledge transforms ordinary observations into life-changing discoveries. Imagine the feeling of realizing that something you found or already own could be worth an incredible amount of money. The excitement, the disbelief, the possibility of transforming your life and securing a healthier, more comfortable future. That's the power of hidden gemstones. And jadeite represents one of the most powerful examples of that hidden potential. A stone born deep within the earth, shaped by immense geological forces over millions of years, waiting patiently until someone recognizes its value. As we reach the end of this journey, remember one powerful truth. The world is still full of undiscovered treasures, not just in remote mines or secret vaults, but sometimes in the most unexpected places. A riverbank, a mountain trail, even an old collection of stones sitting unnoticed on a shelf. The difference between ordinary rocks and life-changing gems often comes down to knowledge and awareness. Stay curious. Stay observant, because the next stone you pick up might not just be a rock. It could be jadeite, one of the rarest and most demanded gemstones on Earth, worth millions and admired by collectors worldwide. And who knows, the next incredible discovery might be waiting for someone exactly like you.